For thousands of years, one creature has captured our imagination like no other, the mermaid. Half human, half fish, these enchanting beings have swum through our myths, legends, and even our history books. But where did the story of mermaids begin? Is there any truth to the tales sailors told of beautiful women with shimmering tails? Today, we're diving deep into the legend of the mermaid, from ancient myths to modern sightings. So grab your gear, because we're about to explore the depths of one of humanity's most enduring aquatic mysteries. Here, we find what many believe to be the very first mermaid story. Overcome with grief and shame, she threw herself into a lake, intending to become a fish. But the waters couldn't fully conceal her divine beauty. So, while her lower body transformed into a fish's tail, her upper body remained human. And so Atargatis became the first mermaid goddess, a figure of both immense beauty and deep sorrow. This story spread across the ancient world, influencing the Greeks, who had their own water spirits called Nereids and Sirens, and the Romans, who adopted Atargatis into their own pantheon. Now, you've probably heard of the Sirens from Greek mythology, especially from Homer's epic, the Odyssey. These creatures were known for their irresistible songs that lured sailors to their doom, causing their ships to crash against the rocky coasts. Interestingly, early Greek art often depicted sirens as half woman, half bird. It was only later, especially during the Roman era, that the image of the siren began to merge with the mermaid, creating the fish-tailed singer we often think of today. This blend created a powerful dual image of the mermaid. On one hand, a beautiful, enchanting creature, and on the other, a dangerous temptress who represented the perils of the sea. This duality is a key part of the mermaid's appeal and has stuck with the legend for centuries. As we move into the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, a period of great exploration and discovery, the belief in mermaids became even more widespread. Sailors spending months or even years at sea were a superstitious bunch. The ocean was a vast, unknown, and often terrifying place. They told countless stories of encounters with merfolk. Even the famous explorer Christopher Columbus recorded a mermaid sighting in his journal during his first voyage to the Americas in 1493. He wrote that he saw 3 female forms rising from the sea, but he noted they were not as beautiful as they are painted, and that their faces had some masculine features. This sighting adds a fascinating layer to the legend. Was Columbus just seeing things after months at sea, or was he describing a real animal? This brings us to the science behind the sightings. Many historians and scientists now believe that what sailors like Columbus were actually seeing were manatees or dugongs. These large, gentle marine mammals, also known as sea cows, have a vaguely humanoid shape from a distance. They have front flippers that can look a bit like arms, and they sometimes cradle their young in a way that resembles a human mother. To a tired, lonely, and possibly rum-soaked sailor, squinting from the deck of a rocking ship, it's easy to see how a manatee bobbing in the waves could be mistaken for a mermaid. This manatee theory is the most widely accepted scientific explanation for historical mermaid sightings. It doesn't take away the magic of the story, but it does ground it in a fascinating reality of mistaken identity. But the mermaid story isn't just about sailors' tales and mistaken identity. In folklore from all around the world, mermaids take on different roles and meanings. In Scottish and Irish legends, you have the Selkies. These are beings who are seals in the water but can shed their skin to become beautiful humans on land. Their stories are often romantic tragedies where a mortal man steals a Selkie's sealskin, forcing her to marry him and live on land. But she always yearns for the sea, and if she ever finds her skin, she will inevitably return to her true home, leaving her human family behind. These tales speak to themes of loss, identity, and the untamable call of nature. Then in Scandinavia, you have the Havfru, and in Germany, the Nixie. These water spirits could be benevolent, offering gifts and warnings to fishermen, or they could be malevolent, dragging people down to watery graves. This rich tapestry of folklore shows how different cultures used the mermaid figure to make sense of the powerful and mysterious body of water that dominated their lives. Speaking of adaptations, no discussion of mermaids is complete without mentioning the 1989 Disney animated classic, The Little Mermaid. This film, with its vibrant animation, catchy songs, and determined heroine Ariel, reignited the world's love affair with mermaids. It transformed the tragic figure of Andersen's tale into a plucky, independent teenager who ultimately gets her happy ending. This version introduced the mermaid myth to a whole new generation and solidified the image of the friendly, curious, and beautiful mermaid in the global consciousness. Since then, mermaids have been everywhere in movies like Splash, TV shows like H2O, just add water and fashion. So where does that leave us today? Do people still believe in mermaids? While most of us understand that mermaids are creatures of myth, the fascination certainly hasn't faded. In fact, a new subculture has emerged, mermaiding. People of all ages and genders don custom-made realistic silicone tails and learn to swim like mermaids. For many, it's a form of artistic expression, a challenging sport, and a way to connect with the magic and fantasy of the ocean. It shows that even if mermaids don't exist in a biological sense, they are very much alive in our hearts and imaginations. The desire to be a part of that magical underwater world is as strong as ever. The story of the mermaid is a story about humanity's relationship with the sea. It's a mirror reflecting our hopes, our fears, and our endless curiosity about the unknown. Mermaids represent a bridge between two worlds, our familiar land and the mysterious deep ocean. So the next time you look out at the water, let your imagination wander.